Hello everybody, thank you so much for stopping by my channel. My name is Jasmine, aka Budget Treasures, and on today's video, we are going to be talking all about my home buying journey. I'm super excited for this video because it is in collaboration with the amazing Miss Lauren Budgets, and she's going to be talking about her home buying journey as she purchased her pre-loved home in the state of Florida, and I am going to be talking about my journey purchasing a home here in California, and I purchased a new build. So we wanted to come to you guys with different perspectives per se, and what it takes to purchase a new build, and then also what it takes to buy a pre-loved home. So once you have completed, or once you're done watching my video, I definitely encourage you to head over to Lauren's video and watch her video, and she has something very special and in store for you. She is actually doing a face reveal with this video. Okay, so very first thing that you want to do, so let me go ahead and kind of let you know how I'm going to structure this video. I'm going to talk about my journey, but I'm also going to answer the questions that you guys put on my Instagram, and then you also put on my YouTube channel. I want to answer those questions, and then I also want to just talk about the journey as well. I've gotten a lot of questions since I moved in February, and I just want to make sure that I answer as many as I possibly can. Sorry that I'm looking crazy. I was gonna put on some makeup and stuff for you guys, but I hope the information that I'm giving will make up for me looking cray-cray. All right, so the very first thing that I want to talk about is the beginning. And what is the beginning? The beginning is when you decide, I want to purchase a home. I'm going to purchase my house. That's the first thing you need to do. Once you determine that, you want to reach out to a lender. So I know a lot of people reach out to the real estate agent first, and you might reach out to a real estate agent if they are connected to a lender. If they, most times people, most real estate agents have lenders that they work with, and so they will refer you to their lender. But if that is not the case, then you want to reach out to a lender. That is what I did. That was the first thing that I did. What the lender does is he takes all of your information down. He takes your income down, your debt to income ratio. He pulls your credit reports. He sees what your credit score is. And after receiving all of that information, your paycheck stubs, then he determines how much money you will be approved for in purchasing your home. Depending on all of that good stuff, he'll say you're approved for X amount of dollars. He'll also give you a interest rate and what you are approved at. What the interest rate does is it tells you pretty much how much your mortgage is going to be based on that amount that you were approved for. Now, if you have below a certain credit score, then that will determine if there are other things that will be added to the loan. An example of that is a PMI, which is a primary mortgage insurance. Now I'm going to put a pin here and say, I have to say this, I am not licensed by no way. I am by no way an expert. I am not telling you like this to be stamped truth. I am just letting you know what my experience was, okay? So once he looks at all of that, then the lender will then give you a pre-approval letter. You need this pre-approval letter because it basically gives you buying power. So when you are out and you are purchasing or you're looking for your home, the sellers will know that you are serious about purchasing a home. They don't really want to spend time with people who are not even pre-approved for a home because it's a waste of time. So you want to have a pre-approval letter from the lender, and it will also let you know what properties you can look at. Why go looking at $1 million homes when you can only afford $500,000 for your home because that's what you were pre-approved for? So it's very important that you have that letter. It lets you know how much you are approved for, and then that will let you know where you need to look and what price area you need to look in. Okay. Another thing that you want to determine what area you want to live in, and you also want to determine like how many bedrooms you need. Do you need a loft? Do you want a pool? You know, there are certain things that you want to know, you know, what you desire for your home, because that will help you, sorry guys, that will help you to weed out certain homes as you're going looking for your home. So let's get into one of the questions. How long is the process from thinking of buying a home to actually getting the keys? I bought my home 2018, but I feel things have changed. I don't know if it's longer or about the same. Also, did you do most of the work or the realtors help you along the way? I felt like I did all of the work. Obviously, without the legal matter involved, the signing and the negotiating, did you guys stay under budget or did you go over? Great questions. Now, I will tell you this. So I did not have a real estate agent. In my opinion, if you are purchasing a new build, I don't believe that you need a real estate agent. They have their sales office there. You go into the sales office and they give you that sheet and they say, these are the models that we have available and this is the price that it's going at. I don't think that they are going to lower the price at all. I tried to get one of my prices lowered for one of the homes because the sheet that they had printed gave a different price. Now, I don't know if I could have pushed it or got the home cheaper, but they said it's not like walking into a department store and something is listed. It doesn't work that way. So I was like, okay, whatever. So in that case, if you're purchasing a new build, I just personally think you don't need a real estate agent. Now, if you are purchasing a pre-loved home, I believe you 1000% need a real estate agent. There's so much that goes on when you're purchasing a pre-loved home, and I'm sure Lauren Budgets will share that with you on her video. And did you go over budget? So yes, I did go over budget. I wanted to spend more like $350, like in the 350, really under 400,000. Anything up to 400,000 is what I wanted to spend. I did go over 400,000, and by a little bit, it wasn't a lot. So yes, I did go over budget. All right, another question. If you were cash stuffing before you purchased your home, did the bank question the transaction on your statements where they saw you withdrawing cash for your cash envelopes? Oh my gosh. I should probably keep going in the home. I'm kind of going out of order a little bit, so sorry. Yes. They question everything you do. Let me tell you, everything that you do, it was starting to drive me insane. They were like, where did this money come from? Where did that money come from? And luckily, because my mom already knew the process, I was kind of already prepared. So if someone gifts you money, you have to write a letter, like a gift letter. I forget what you call it, but it's like a gift letter that you have to write. And you have to send that in for everything. Like if somebody's giving you money, you have to send it in. Then if like whatever deposit that's made, you have to explain that deposit. So I was like, oh my gosh, like I do have a job. Like you guys keep questioning everything that's deposited into my account. So at some point, I kind of had to stop moving the money around, and it was more so when I got into escrow. Now outside of escrow, I would say maybe like 3 months, and you can ask your lender. I would definitely ask your lender, but I would say like 3 months. I would try to minimize you know, the withdrawals and the deposits and stuff like that, or maybe have an account to the side, maybe that you're just, well, no, because they want every account that you have. So I would just say minimize it, because they questioned everything. They were questioning things in my account up and even after I closed escrow. So yes, you definitely want to not do so much because they are all up in your business. They want to know everything, where the money's coming from, where the money's going, etc. We kind of talked a little bit about the type of loan that you would be approved for. I was approved for a conventional loan. I did not want an FHA loan because I was told that when you have an FHA loan that you have to pay the PMI. However, I have listened to a lot of experts and they've said that that's not true. So I would just say talk to your lender and ask them, you know, is it true or not? I don't know. But I've heard it's not true. You don't have to have one. So, but I did a conventional loan. I did have to put down 20% of the home, the price of the home, and which ultimately brought my mortgage down a lot more. And that money was gifted to me, not all of it. So I did have to save a portion of that, and that is how I saved it, by living with my brother. And not having to pay rent. I did help out, but I didn't have to pay rent. So that's how I saved my portion of it. I can't really say what that is because I've been asked not to. So I'll just say that. So if you are saving for your home, if you can, I would try to minimize as much as you possibly can and just save, 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 save. There are some people who only put down $5,000 for their home, $10,000 for their home. You know, it's whatever is best for your situation is what you want to determine. And your lender helps you decide how much you're going to need to put down for your home. And then that will also let you know how much you need to save. So here's another question. If I am a first-time home buyer, what's some important things I should be aware of before I start my home buying process? And will I have a choice to go through a bank or a credit union? Should I have at least 20% down payment? So we definitely just talked about the down payment amount and some things that you want to think about. And I kind of talked about this already. Where do you want to live? How much do you want to spend for your home? How many bedrooms do you want in your home? Some of these things you're definitely going to make adjustments along the way, but I would just write down a list of everything that you want in your home, something that's going to make you happy about coming home every day. You want to talk about what you want your neighborhood to look like. For me, that was very important. My surrounding neighborhood was important for me. Yes, I wanted to live in a nice neighborhood, but because I'm a little ways out from LA, Los Angeles, which is my heart, I knew that the area that I wanted to live in, I needed it to look as much like LA as possible, like the inner city, because I am a city girl at heart. So I couldn't afford anything in the city. So there was a home that I was going to buy, an actual home. I live in a condo. The actual house that I was gonna buy was further out. Now, it didn't look like city. It looked like country. And while it's a good neighborhood, I couldn't stand to walk outside and it looked like country. I didn't want to be so far away from the city because I'm a city girl. I love LA. And my church is still in LA, like Compton, you know, so I didn't want to be like so far out. So I decided not to buy that home solely for that reason. The house, I would have gone a little bit over budget, but it was a nice house. I loved it. When I walked in, I fell in love with the house. I was like, oh my gosh. The kitchen, bomb. And I actually did one of the videos, so you guys can go back and you can catch my homework series. And I actually was, you know, toured the house that I wanted to be in, that I almost bought. You guys, I was this close to buying it. Like, I was on the phone and I was going to put in my bid. I was going down there to put in my earnest money, which is basically the deposit to secure the space for them to start building it. But I was like, when I walk outside, I'm gonna be depressed. So for you, if that matters to you, then that's something that you want to look at. That's something that mattered to me. But yeah, all of those things that you want to look at. How far is it away from your family? Do you want to be away from your family? Do you want to be away from your friends? How, you know, is it a good school district to be in if you have kids? How far is it away from your job? Like, all of those things you want to take in consideration when you're talking about purchasing a home. The home is nice, but what about the outside area as well? So the question, will you have a choice to go through a bank or credit union? Yeah. It just depends on who approves your loan and who gives you that opportunity. So if you can go through a credit union, you definitely should. Whoever gives you the best deal is who you should go with, in my opinion. But it's completely up to you. That's something that you would discuss with your lender. All right, so let's talk about the HOA. So someone had a question about the HOA. I do pay an HOA. When I first started my home buying journey, I said, I don't want to pay no HOA. That's just extra money, yada, yada, yada. Okay. Now, some of the new builds that I did look at did not have an HOA. So here's the thing with the HOA. Yes, I'm paying one now. I decided to accept paying an HOA because of where I live. Now, because I am in a condo, these are the benefits of the HOA. And then I'll also talk about things that aren't a benefit to having an HOA. So anything outside of my house, the HOA is responsible for, okay? If the roof, something happens to the roof, the HOA is responsible to fix it. They're responsible for keeping up the upkeep of, like, my front yard. I guess it's a yard. And they keep all of that manicured well. They are gonna make sure that the homes look nice. That is what they are responsible for. They kind of keep order in the community. They make sure they clean up. So I don't have like gardener fees and things like that. So I know at my house I lived at before, I had to pay a gardener every 2 weeks to come and cut the grass, and I had to water the grass, and all of that I don't have to do here. And I also have access to 3 pools. So I have access to the pool and the play area in my community, but then there are also 2 other communities that I have access to see those pools, and they look really, really nice, like resort style type pools and recreation rooms and all that stuff that I have access to. There are other things that the HOA helps with as well. Like, nobody can go and paint their you know, home or their part of the condo like blue, like, and got it looking all crazy. Like, you just can't do that. So those are the benefits of having an HOA. Are they a pain in the butt? Yes, I don't like them, but I don't have to worry about replacing my roof in how many ever years. So the benefits of not having an HOA, or I think what my mom was explaining to me, one thing that can be a headache to deal with when you don't have an HOA is your neighbors doing crazy things to their homes, and it could potentially bring down the value of your home. So where I lived before, I lived in Inglewood. Before I moved there, so the neighborhood has always been a nice neighborhood since I was a young child, and then now, you know, it's being brought back to life or what have you. But there was this house around the corner. This man would work on his house, you guys, all the time. I don't know if he has some type of mental issue, I'm not sure, but it seemed like he would work on his house forever and it would never get finished. Not only that, he colored the house, or he painted the house purple. So the house was purple, like bright purple. The grass was never manicured. He had like tile on his house. Like, his house just looked crazy. And yes, the community was being brought back up, but that things like that will bring down the value of your home. So when someone comes to look at it, look at the home maybe that you're selling, they're like, I don't want to live, you know, around the corner from the Barney house. That's what we used to call it, the Barney house. Then it was another home that was like just beat up, and it just had ran down cars just sitting in their driveway. Like that kind of stuff brings down your neighborhood. So the HOA helps to police that stuff, and you know, you just want your neighborhood to always look nice. And so that's something that you might want to consider when it comes to moving somewhere where they have an HOA. All right, so once we started to go into escrow or enter into escrow, I needed to talk to the loan officer. The loan officer then wanted to lock in my rate. So based off of me resubmitting all my paperwork, because time has passed, they want to make sure I still have a job, I still have income and all that good stuff, still don't have debt and all that. The loan officer then tells me what my interest rate will be, and that needed to be locked in. So as he presented to me my interest rate, he says, okay, based on everything, this is your interest rate. This is how much your mortgage is going to be. Now, because you don't have A1 credit, this is what I can offer you. You can purchase these interest rates for an additional amount, and we will take that. So he gave me an option of 3 different interest rates. And he was like, you know, so we kind of talked about some of them. He was like, if you go with this one, you'll have a PMI. However, the PMI will fall off in, you know, December and yada, yada, yada. And so I didn't want to deal with any of that hassle. So I just said, give me the lowest rate with no PMI, and let's just be done with it. And I paid the additional amount for the lower interest rate. So I'm not sure if that is an option everywhere, but if you don't have, if you're not getting the rate that you want, I definitely suggest that you ask if that is an option that you have, which is to buy a cheaper interest rate. Now, when you buy that cheaper interest rate, they're not going to attach it to your home price. You're going to need to pay that full amount at the closing cost. Well, that amount is included in your closing costs. Okay, so that's definitely something that you want to consider. But I didn't know that that was an option. I had like no idea until he presented it to me, and I was like, oh, cool, okay, yeah. So after I locked in the rate, then that's when they started scheduling me to sign my title, to sign my loan docs, and all that good stuff. And they wanted me to wire the money over. And let's see, one more thing that we want to discuss, and I hope that I've answered a lot of your questions, but I want to discuss what is included in the closing costs. Okay, so I have my documents right here that I'm going to tell you exactly what I had to pay, what was included in my closing costs. So property taxes, HOA proration, HOA special benefit area, 1% of loan amount, the documentation preparation fees, so you have to pay for that, processing fees, you got to pay for them to process your loan, you got to pay the underwriters, so you pay underwriter fees, you have to pay a wire transfer fee, you have to pay an appraisal fee, you have to pay flood certification fee. That wasn't a lot. I had to pay prepaid interest on my homeowner's insurance. I had to pay for that. Property taxes. So the first was county taxes. Then I had to pay property taxes. I had to pay a community district fee. I had to pay for the title, so title charges. I had to pay escrow fee. I had to pay the lender's title insurance company I had to pay a recording processing fee, a solar fee because I do have solar panels. I had to pay, and all of this stuff is pretty much like an estimate, okay? I had to, it says a refund pad. I don't even know what that is. The owner's title insurance, I had to pay that, I guess, again. I had to pay recording fees to the county that I live in. I had to pay the county transfer tax, recording fees. There are like 3 recording fees I had to pay. Then the HOA dues, I had to pay 1 month up front. I had to pay, so there's some HOA stuff in there that I had to take care of. And then homeowners insurance premium. Again, I had to pay natural hazard report fee, notary fee I had to pay, and then they did credit the earnest money that I had. They credited that, and then that let me know what my balance was to the the borrower, which told me how much I needed to pay for my closing cost to get my house. So that's a lot of stuff that you got to pay, you guys. And like I said, it is a estimate. So after everything closed and everything was done dealio, I did receive a $600 refund. And that is because maybe they overcharged me for some of the things that I had originally paid for. So just know that sometimes you might get a refund back from your closing costs, okay? And there's only one more thing that I do want to talk about, and that is the taxes. So I have a compound loan also. So in California, I'm not sure if this is the same thing in every state, but in California, we do have to pay property taxes, and we pay those property taxes in April, and I think the second one is in October or something like that. And you pay those property taxes based upon the taxes and where you live. And so a lot of the times it's like $5,000 to $10,000 that you have to pay like 2 times a year. So I decided that I did not want to try to find $10,000 to pay my property taxes. That was one less headache that I needed. So what they give us the option to do is to have a compound loan, which means that I'm paying my mortgage, but attached to that is how much I'm paying is my property taxes as well. So let's say it's $5,000 and they break it up over time. Is basically a sinking fund, okay? Property tax sinking fund attached to my mortgage that I pay. So by the time my taxes are due, it's already paid through my mortgage company, and I don't have to worry about it, out of sight, out of mind. It's a huge difference, let me tell you. If I didn't have property taxes, my mortgage would be almost $1,000 cheaper. But what are you gonna do? You know, I gotta do what I gotta do. So I just decided to lump it together because that's a headache that I don't want. I don't want to have to keep up with that money myself. I would even if I said no, I don't want it, I would have to save that money every month to make sure that I had it when the taxes were due. So it just made sense to compound it with my mortgage. So you guys, I think that is all the questions that you guys have had over time. I will say with buying a new build, there are pros and cons to it, right? So everything is new once you move in, and you can still make the home your own with different upgrades and things like that. But with a pre-loved home, you can definitely really make it your own, and it's fun. It's a great process. It's a lot of money, but you can just go in it and make it whatever you want. So like I said, there are pros and cons for a pre-loved home. The home is definitely going to be cheaper. than buying a new home, but it's all in what you want and what you desire. But I definitely think that real estate was the right choice for me. I am happy that I got a new build. If I didn't get this at the time that I got it, I was gonna start looking into a pre-loved home. But you know, this is where God wanted me to be planted at for this season. So this is what I got. And let me see. So I hope that I answered all of your questions. If you have more, another question. The question is like, what should you buy first when moving into your home? So I will tell you that it depends on pre-loved or not, kind of maybe. For me, like, I wanted all my walls white, so they are white, and I haven't really decided if I want to paint them any other color. But for sure, what you're gonna need, yes, you're gonna need cleaning products, because I still had to clean the house even though it was a new build. And then also I had to buy home tools. That was something I didn't consider at all, like at all. But you need a hammer, you need screws, you need like all that kind of stuff, and I just didn't have any of it. So my mom, you know, she walked me through the process. I just thank God for her. Yeah, so that was a question, like, what do you need to buy first? I would say if you're gonna furnish your home, pre-loved or not, if you're gonna fix certain things up, I would definitely recommend to take your time in doing things. Take it one room at a time and just have fun with it. You know, don't go into debt trying to furnish your house. There's a lot of things that I want to do to my house, even though it's a new build, but I want to make it my own. And I decided that I'm not going to go into debt doing those things. I'm going to save my money, and then I am going to make the things happen. And I know that Lauren is doing the same thing. We're both on the same page. I want to get new floors in my bathrooms upstairs. I want to do some things to my laundry room to make it functional. I want to get like some wall kind of, I forget what you call it, but like accent wall type of thing. So there's a lot that I want to do, especially in my kitchen. Whew, man, let's not even go to the kitchen. It's a lot I want to do in my kitchen, but there it is there. So I hope that I answered all of your questions. If you have any other questions, please leave them down in the comment section, and I definitely will be answering those questions for you if I didn't talk about it here in the video. But make sure, if you have not watched the homework series, make sure that you watch the homework series, because it'll walk you through my journey in the beginning. And then also, if you are not subscribed, I really hope that you subscribe today. Head on over to Lauren Budget's channel before or after this video so that you can see all of the lovely tips that she has. All right, guys, thank you so much for stopping by my channel. Go be great. Peace out.